something radically changed when my uncle actually started talking to my parents about Jesus, and we left the Catholic Church and we went to a Baptist church at that point. And one night I was praying, and I was praying to the Lord, and I was saying, Lord, if you're truly real, show me that you're real. And I'm praying, I started praying for, and I was like 9 years old at the
Yeah.
time. I started praying for my mother, started praying for my father, and I heard the audible voice of God and just speak to me so clearly that he loved me and he loved my parents. And from that day forward, I knew how real God was. And so as I was growing up, I tried to live my life for him. But as you grow and as you start to experience what the world has, what happens? Sometimes you have one foot in the church and one foot out of the church. Sometimes their life starts to waver. And so it got to a point where when I was around 18 or 19, I walked away from the faith for a while. And it got to a point where I was at a life decision whether or not I was going to fully embrace um, my sin and know that I am nothing, hopelessly nothing, and I don't want to live anymore. And at that moment when I felt that way, the Lord embraced me with His love and touched my heart again. And I was like, God, how can you love such a wretched sinner like me? I don't deserve any of it. I messed up so much. I've done so many things that you don't even understand, even though God does understand. And I was just like, I had one foot in, one foot out. I tried to praise you here. I tried to do this, but Lord, I felt so far away from you. And I felt God's embrace in that moment, his love that's spoken about in the Bible when it talks about that he stood on that cross. He could have hopped off any time, but he kept himself on that cross because of his love for each and every single one of us. And so in that moment, I felt that overwhelming love that I rededicated my life to Christ. And now it's going to be, I think, 11 years strong that I've been walking in my faith again with God. And so
Let's go.
that right there, I mean, that's really short story, but that's an encouragement to anybody to wherever you're at, no matter what you've done, no matter what you feel in your heart, know that God's love is more powerful and could dig so deep that it would change any person. You look at the Apostle Paul, how he was and how he killed Christians. I remember I read this somewhere. If you know the story of Paul and how he murdered so many Christians, so many people who believed in God, and then God saved him. God changed his life. And
Yeah.
so I saw this where when Paul made it to heaven, how many Christians did he killed rejoiced knowing that they saw Paul in heaven? That's powerful. That is the grace and love of God, knowing that he killed every single person there, and they probably all rejoiced and clapped, knowing that
Yeah.
he made it to heaven through God's grace and love. So there's nothing you can do that can separate you from the love of God and keep you separated.
Amen.
So let me say it more like that. There's nothing that can separate you from the love of God. Nothing. Because of God's grace and his mercy and his love. All it takes is for you to do is to come to your knees at the foot of the cross saying, Lord, I want you to in my life. God, I need you in my life. And the
It's
Lord will
that simple.
transform your heart.